I'm sharing my screen. Let me share my screen. Got it. So let me share my screen. All right. All right. So let's go live. I'll share the link later so you can watch it. So that's good to go to make sure I'm posting that. That's okay. All right. So we're gonna going back to how to create a code lab file in a Google Classroom, Google Drive. So first step that you guys are going to be go to your Google Drive, and then it's up to you how do you want to organize yourself. So let's go back and create a new folder for MTH1W. So I'm gonna keep a folder for MTH1W. Now I'm gonna go inside the folder, and then this time I'm gonna click New, and then More. And then you're going to choose Google Code Laboratory. So just click on that. So this will open up the same page you're seeing that I'm sharing with you. So let me create this as demo lesson 1. Demo lesson 1. Now, the question is, how do you integrate this one with your class? So let's going back to post this. So this is from the teacher's perspective. So I'm going to going back to my class, create an assignment. I'm going to call demo lesson. And then very similar to how you share your work for the student to submit in a Google Doc, if you click on a drive, it will automatically pop up the recent file that you created. So I think that I create this one untitled file. I didn't rename it. So this file, the rename is not done yet. So let me go back to rename this. So I'm going to refresh this file to make sure the name changes. All good. So I'm going to going back to click Google Drive. And you can see the file that we name it, demo lesson 1. You select it. Now you're going to make a copy for each student. And then topic, I'm going to say, this is, I'm not sure, arithmetic and math library. So I assign it. Right now, everyone got a copy of it. Now the question is, how would you make sure to create a lesson? So I'm going to quickly demo. The best part of Google Code Lab is it has the mathematical editing software called LaTeX integrated. So let's going back to go on my text. So this is my lesson 1. So lesson 1. And then I'm going to be show you lesson 1 using print statement. To produce output. Now, I want the snippet of the code. It coded differently. All I will do, I will put a little inequality sign, and inside that you can edit the code that you want the kids to see. So import math, and then say print, welcome to demo. And then this one you can see produce as a lesson on the side, lesson 1, and then I will say right now this. Now I'm going to going back to write this will produce welcome to demo in the output screen. So now my next task is I'm going to show you how you can use the LaTeX. So I'm going to going back to tab. So let's do this. Write Python, or let's say practice. So practice task. So I'm going to say write a Python expression to convert the following mathematical expression. All right. So I want to use the LaTeX. So let's going back to simple square root function. So I'm going to say sqrt. So if you know LaTeX, you can type it. And then I'm going to say 4 squared and 4 LaTeX will pop up. You can use the LaTeX there. The LaTeX is coded there. LaTeX is there. It's a coding language to generate. So you can say square root. I just missed a backslash here. All right. So now you can say, and then I need to change the curly bracket here. I didn't put the square root. So this should be curly bracket start. To this is going to be curly bracket start. So right now you can see that I kept the lesson practice task, write a Python expression to convert the following mathematical expression. So this is basically the LaTeX. Yes.
print map, like, has the latex already queued?
Yeah, latex already there. If you type the latex command, it will come up. So let's go back to some fancy latex. So what do you guys want to do? Okay, so let's going back to limit. I don't know what the limit is. So I'm just gonna say limit X. So I'm just gonna go back to fraction. I put the backslashes, so X squared. Okay, and then $sign. I just missing something here. Oh yes, backslash limit. I'm just missing the backslash limit. And that should be forwarded. Okay, I just forget my limit syntax. That's okay. Limit backslash limit. I put that in. It should be forward. Let's go back to something else. So let's going back to here. Another expression. Fraction. So X squared. Fraction X squared plus 2X plus 3. And then X cubed. Here we go. I forgot the syntax for the limit, but I just want to show. So latex is easy to learn and mathematical editing software. There's a lot of resources there. So the good thing, the master's program, Masters in Mathematics for Teachers in Waterloo, it's a professional design program for teachers. The first thing they taught us using mathematical editing software. So I can use latex, I can use Mabel, I can use GeoGebra. So that's the first credit code you have to take. So that's pretty great advantage on using latex to nicely produce some fancy mathematical expression. Yes. Fraction. So. Oh yes, fraction numerator.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that's to format it. So if you got $sign, you won't compile.
Oh, okay.
The $sign is part of the format. And then you can also use latex in Microsoft Word. If you click equation editor, the latex come up, right? And then only the annoying part is a Google Doc. You need to install the extension, which I don't like it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But this is you can create the entire math lesson on latex. But there's another technical part, how to import that to PDF. So unfortunately that I need to install another piece of software. I did it. So you can actually export this nicely to a PDF or PowerPoint slides, which I don't have the software installed yet. Yes.
So you said about extension. Which extension we need to add?
This one, you don't need to put anything. No extension.
No, but in Microsoft Word, you don't.
You don't.
Use the same syntax.
Yeah, same syntax.
You could copy it from here, paste it into a Word document, export it to PDF.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Word
good.
document, not in Google Docs.
Sorry?
Not in Google Docs.
Google Doc, you need to use an extension. It's called latex extension. It's works sometimes, it doesn't work. But also what it does is produces an image, not like a nice format here. So in Google Doc, the latex works, but it's produce an image for you. So that's kind of like if you're printing out, it look like ugly formatted.
That's why it's not put in the Word document.
Or use this.
You know, like how the Microsoft Word has the equation editor, but it's very bad. Like it's very bad. So this is much better, right? You recommend.
You guys want to create a set of questions here? So let me show you. All right. So everyone love this. It's going from what my agenda is. That's okay. So I still have some time to introduce the key pieces. Okay. So let's say you're going to say factor the following expressions. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to going back. I'm going to scroll up here a little up. So there's an option to put, you can see a blood points. So if I do blood points, so you can see list items. So here's my first question. So I'm going to say $sign, and then it's going to be x squared plus 6x, 6x plus 8. So that's my first question. You can see. Now, just going to leave a space for my second question. Sorry?
You don't need curly brackets.
You don't need a curly bracket here. And I'm not talking about Python. This is the latex.
Oh, we start something new.
This is diverting from my agenda because some of you love this. So I just say, you know what, how to create it. So you can say factor the following expression. So you want to create questions, you can keep on typing it. So it will be nicely indented questions. So if you want to create your final exam or test, nicely formatted, the latex is, and then latex is supported in Brightspace. So I do create my quizzes using latex on Brightspace. So for example, if you want to add an angle sign, you can put an angle sign. If you just want to put a limit sign, you can put a sign, right?
But in order to put in the bright space, you need to copy this and to write down now $$, X on a power of two
Yes.
plus it
Yeah.
says. And you paste directly in a bright space and bright space will accept in that.
It will accept, yes, but that's going to be diverting from my agenda for today. So probably I will ask Jason to. Okay, so can we moving back to our agenda? So let's going back to the variable expression quickly. So, I'm not done the video. I'm just recording the whole thing, but it should be go on YouTube live, but that's what I say. Oh, yes, it's going. Okay, let me make sure, right? It's all good. It's on live. We will come back to that later. All right, let's moving back to where I am, arithmetic expression. So where I am. All right. So I'm gonna going back to click here to coding. So I'm gonna be double click to put the coding part. So code, my question is here. So I need to double click here to do the coding code. All right, so let's do the coding for this one. So print, now -6 plus, and then I didn't import the math. So I'm gonna do import math, and then it's gonna print, you see -6 and plus, and then you see the square root. So math.sqrt. Now some of you do math.power. I'm gonna do 6 squared minus 4 times 1 times 8. Now, what's happened for most of you, you did the 2 backslashes, it doesn't work. The 2 backslashes is known as integer operation, integer division. So in order to perform this, you need to have an integer as integer. But your math.square root is not going to give you an integer, it's going to give you a number. So you can't use double backslash. Right now, I asked whether it will produce -2.0 as an answer. So let's run this. Oh, it's -5.0. So when I get exactly, so when I give the task, exactly the same task to the students, I know the answer. I say, you should get -5.0. And then I say, yes, do your math and see what you have to get. And then they will go back to the calculator. Oh, it should be -2.0. Python does follow order of operation. It's bit mass. There's no question on the bit mass, but there's the one thing we need to add is the modulus operation comes in here. So it's still bit mass, but your modulus operation take high precedence from left to right. So if you're writing an expression that if you want to do the modulus done first, you need to make sure that you separate it by brackets. So it's still dead mass. But without modulus operation, there's a few things the kids can perform. So what I want to do, I want to put a bracket. So now if I put the bracket, it will give me the expected output. Okay. So.
And then the other thing is instead of a 1 at the end was a 3, you need a bracket around the 3.
Yes, that's right. So right now I put 2 times 1, but if you're just going to multiply by something else, then make sure you put the bracket to a denominator. Okay. So this piece that you can introduce to your students or when they start to learn programming, you can throw out a lot of mathematical expressions for them to play around. So I teach grade 11 and 12 computer science. So the task I used to do, I will just get them to do the quadratic one because they learn it. Then I would like to have more fun with them. And then I going back to Newton gravitational law formula, M1 into over R squared. Then I will give the mass of Earth, mass of Sun, the G value, calculate the F. Now, so let's going back to, for example, mass of Earth. So 5.68 times 10 by 10 to the power of 31. Now the problem starts. How would you really use that in programming? So scientific notation, grade 9, your first strand. So if you want the kids to test the value, how would you evaluate? Well, let me do that one example. So if you want to do that particular value, how would you write an expression? So I'm going to going back to here, another coding. So if I do print, import math, and then print, I'm going to call speed of light, right? And then you can also have a little display. So to show what you're displaying along with the math. So that is going to be 3 times 3.8 times math.power 10, 8, and then comma 10 to the power, what? 3.8 10 to the power 9 or 10 to the power 8? Did I? Okay.
Not 3.8, but it's like,
What?
it's 2.99.
All right. And then a meter per second. Okay. So you can see right now that this will produce the actual value of math.pow. I know that math is uppercase to lowercase, so let's fix that in. So let's run it again. So you can see that right now, the speed of the light is produced. So as you're teaching scientific notation, after you talk about how you talk about all mathematical operations, it can be a task for them to write a scientific notation expression in Python. So the key is this is 10 to the power of 9, and you need to multiply by 3. So when I put this question, the mostly kids find it difficult to square points because the radius between sun and earth is going to be in scientific notation, and you also need to square it. So we don't want to go that complexity, but this is something that you can do. So exploring scientific notation, how would you compare different values? All right. With the time in mind, I need to move back to my next lesson. So the next lesson is important lesson. Where I have data, arithmetic, and library. So I did demo lesson. And then I just realized I didn't post the lesson here. I do create the lesson, but I didn't post it. That's okay. It's just going to be uploaded right now. Lester B. Pearson. So where I am. I see it's for you. No. Eureka conference. So variables. Let me go back to lemon variable and demo. Okay. I think if I open that up, that's going to be the recent file. So let's create that assignment. So lesson 3. Okay, cool. So make a copy for each one of you. So that's going to be arithmetic operation in math libraries. So it's going to be the same place. All right. So can you guys quickly click on variable in Python? So that's another file. There's a new lesson. It's called variable in math. So if you refresh it, you can access it. Lesson 3 variable. It's under the arithmetic operation in math library. Yeah, the variables. Lesson 3. So as I already mentioned a few things, so this is basically the expectation in coding that starts. So use coding to demonstrate the understanding of algebraic concepts, including variables, parameters, equation, and inequalities. So I already talked about the random access memory to store the information. If I didn't talk about this, my question is used to be, when you enter the PIN number to your ATM machine, where it goes, to go back and enter your PIN number on your keypad, where it's being stored. So kids will say it's stored on the computer server. That's I'm just saying that's actually a fraud. You're saving somebody's PIN number in the server. You can't do that. So it's go to that RAM, and then the question is, the RAM, the PIN number stored in the RAM is going to be accessed in the programming using variables. So variable basically placeholder like in math. So you need to store information. So far, we didn't store information. We just printed. We just write it. We didn't store it. So let's going back to simple example. So example 1. So I want you to write an expression to evaluate y is equal to 5x plus 3 when x is equal to 2 using the variable. So let's calculate the value of y in the equation when x is equal to 2. So the code will look like this. You declare a variable x, and you assign a value of 2. And then you just write a mathematical expression using that variable. So y is equal to 5 times x plus 3. You print y. So the code above will print 13 to the screen. So in Python, you don't really need to use a variable the way we're using in math. So it's not necessary you have to use a single letter. For example, I can use x1 as a variable. I can use age as a variable. So it's not necessary letter. For somebody learning for the first time, we will stick with that single letter variable, right? And then let's go back to a little fun here. Practice. Calculate the slope between the point 1, 3 and 2, 5 using the equation of the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Declare variable to store the value of x1, x2, y1 should be say y2. So y1 is y2. Okay. y1, y2. Okay. Here we go. So this is that piece. So I want you guys to declare the variable to four variable. You can call x1 equal to 1, x2 is equal to 3. I mean, y1 is equal to 3, x2 is equal to 2, y2 is equal to 5. Then you're going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 to calculate the slope.
Mr. Jack, when you said declare, do you declare a type two or?
You don't need to, so that's a good thing. So you don't need to say type. You can simply say it's equal to. Python doesn't care about type.
So, but how do they know if an integer or a real number?
It's designed on runtime.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't want to go all the detail, but you don't need to declare the variable the type. So what Mr. Ma is asking, when you declare a variable here, some languages, you need to specify what type of data. It's a whole number. It's a real number. But the best part in Python, you don't need to say that. It's only decide the type during the execution, right? So the goal is here to comfortable with declaring variable, using that slope formula to calculate the slope of the line.
What we need to do now?
You're going to declare variables. You see that how I declare variable x equal to 2,
Okay.
then declare another variable to calculate the value of y. So your goal is to declare four variables, x1, x2, y1, y2, and assign them values 1, 3, 2, 5. Use that to calculate the slope.
Does it matter which point it works?
Here. we will make-
Point one, point two?
And equals 2, is up to, yeah. y1 equals 3, y2 equals 5. And say m equals now. Equals 5. And next, m slope equals 20.
Does anyone register for any? Oh, you know what? This room will be taken in the afternoon. Otherwise, if you guys want to continue, so then I can have it. A lot of fun stuff is there, but
That's
that's
here in the afternoon as well.
the afternoon, this room is occupied, but if there's another room, we have card, we're gonna have to choose. For 1 hour, I can complete the key pieces. I need one more.
Okay. Okay. So there's something.
But there's no more time. 1 to 2 is lunch and then.
Oh,
15 we have to
okay.
do something else.
Yes, okay, never mind. Maybe I will post the lessons on my, okay. If you guys like it, I will do that.
How many lessons you have?
So I got another 2 more lessons to write.
Okay. Are they posted in Google Classroom?
They post in the Google Classroom, yes.
Thank you.
I actually.
Oh, you know.
Ah, similar. Okay.
I'm going to share. I know you guys are so excited to see this. I'll share this with you.
That's the basic, right?
Don't worry, I'm gonna share the cheat sheet with all the practice questions. You can give it to the kids with the answers, the evaluations you can do with your kids.
Oh my goodness.
And then tune into this side on YouTube, so I will record the rest of the lessons this weekend, how to use the code lab, so you're good to go.
Thank you very much.
All right, so how many of you get the slope done? Calculate it, yay! Well, let me do my math. What is the slope? 5 minus 2, it's gotta be 2. Okay. What? Oh, you got 0? I know. 2.0, that's right. So 4 divided, so hold on, 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 divided by 2. How do you get that?
Okay, should I put 2 slash?
You put 1 slash,
If I put 2 slash,
then there's a problem. If you put 1 slash, then there will be, you might end up with crashing the program. Yes,
Got it.
1 slash, use 1 slash.
And then run one more time.
Oh, that's okay. That's, I need to manage it. So I got a pop-up message. What's your name again? Shashi, that's a too many session running. So
Yeah.
Google doesn't like that everyone using the computing resources because everyone is taking up their server to run it.
Yeah.
That's the time the message comes in. Say too many session. So all I have to do is, for example, if I'm in a run, so let me run this. So where's my run button? Code. Okay, let me code. So not this one. I want to code this one. So double click here. So I want to do code. Okay, that's okay. So if I say print hi, I'm going to see, is that going to be popping out too many sessions? Oh, yes. So now watch the fan. I'm going to delete all the sessions people are doing.
Oh.
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. Now I got the resources to run. Now it will print hi. Okay. So somehow Google tracing it back that everyone is using, taking up their server to run this. So this is completely free. It's come with a disadvantage, but guess what? It's only $13 subscription per month. For the whole 100, you can run 100 units. That means 100 people can compete at the same time. So you can ask your department head to pay for it. So a board can pay for it. Perfectly fine. It's really worth to just run the code lab, right?
What is this?
To run the computing, because right now it's taking the computing resources on the Google Cloud.
So what is that we're asking?
No. So right now I'm running it with the limited resource. So when more than
What
What do you
specifically
ask
is
the department to pay for?
Python
What is
Oh.
it?
or what?
it's code lab.
Code lab.
Yeah, it's a code lab. Yeah.
Code lab.
Oh, just you can send me an email how to reach out to the department how to pay it. I just can't ask. Yes. So don't send me an email to Google Classroom. I mean, send me an email from the Google Classroom, not in the Google Classroom comments. Send me an email. I will tell them how to pay for it. All right. So now,
Commission, Mr. Jack?
what?
You want to get a commission?
Of course.
It doesn't matter, he should, he should, yeah, he should. So is this licensed by the board or is it something new?
No. This is completely licensed by the board. This is a Google product, free to use. But remember that our unlimited or 200 gigabytes shrink back to 25. Same thing, they're doing it because we are using their computing resources and they want to make money out of it, right? It's run on their compute engine. It's not Google Cloud. Google have a compute engine. So that's basically a computer we're running this program in, and that's for every minute it's cost them money. So that's why they're limiting it. So imagine that all the developers want to use the free version to run it, right? You can create some of the crazy apps. You can create your AI here. You can create your machine learning here, right? All right, now with the time in mind, I want to show you guys a couple of things. So first thing that you want to know the resources. If you're going back to BN Math is one of the best resources to teach the grade 9 D-stream math. So all you need to click on, if you click on BN Math, oh, how come that I didn't put the resources? I did yesterday. Oh, yes, BN Math coding resources. Okay, here we go. So if you click on BN Math coding resources, he has created 5 lessons, YouTube video. It's called BN Math coding resource.
Go back on the Google.
Now,
Google Classroom.
somebody asked me for the cheat sheet. The cheat sheet is Python in 5 problem is a cheat sheet. So if you click on that PDF file, this will show through everything you need to know for Python as a reference guide. It clearly shows how to declare a variable and what function to use, and clearly says what each one of them is doing on the side, little light bulb sign, you can see it. Now, the best part is, let's say you're introducing coding part 1, then you can see he actually build your skills, followed by check your understanding questions, and each check your understanding questions have an answer. So you can actually just take that out from the PDF. So he actually spiral out the coding part in 5 units. And then if you visit BN Math website, he created a lot of interactive presentation. For example, the grade 9 teachers right now using scientific notation. So he actually created interactive presentation talking about scientific notation. You can kids can answer questions during the PowerPoint slide, so teachers can see how they do. So those are free resources available. So he was a math consultant for Rainbow District School Board, but right now pulled back to the classroom. So he created a great resources, especially I use his GeoGebra. I should do another video on GeoGebra, how to use the interactive GeoGebra lesson.
Yes.
Two more video sessions, one for latex and one for that George.
Okay, one for latex and one for, okay, I will ask Jason. So with the time in mind, I put the resources. Right now, you guys all want to see where the recording goes. So please subscribe to my channel. It's called Be a Math Wizard. So I'm going to be stopping